Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
Hello and welcome to Helping Seniors Television. On behalf of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, and the entire Helping Seniors TV team, I'm Kerry Fink, and we have a good episode with good information for you today with some really good guests who are going to help add to what we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about the Helping Seniors Directory and why it's such an important tool in your own aging plan. And here to help tell a little bit about not only why they're in the directory, but also what they do and why it's important you know about what they do. I have the pleasure of sitting here today, and I'm going to introduce first Jennifer Helin with Seniors Helping Seniors. How you doing, Jennifer?
Good, Kerry. How are you today?
Good to have you back. And we joke a lot of times as the person who is really behind everything that goes on with Seniors Helping Seniors. People go, now, are you guys the same thing? I hear your name is Helping Seniors, and Jennifer's organization's name is Seniors Helping Seniors. And they say, is that the same thing? And we always explain that they are sort of related because you're on the board of Helping Seniors. We're the charity organization that operates the county's Senior Information Helpline. And let you just do a quick introduction to Seniors Helping Seniors.
So for Seniors Helping Seniors, we really do hire seniors to go out and help seniors. We build peer-to-peer relationships so that seniors can stay independent and at home where they would like to be, and that families have peace of mind. So we do anything non-medical a senior needs to have done around the house.
And we're going to talk a little bit more of that and some of the interesting areas that you guys provide services in, including electronic caregiver. But I also want to take a moment and introduce our other guest for today. Her name is Heather Palonis, and she's with Paradise Mobile Labs. How you doing today, Heather?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And we were talking about that you guys are I would say, reasonably getting acclimated to the area, but coming down from the Nashville area.
Yes, sir. That's correct. I moved here about 3 years ago, and we've been in business for about a year.
This is good. And we're going to have some exciting information about Paradise Mobile Labs and how that can help, particularly when you want to do things at home. So if you can tell, the underlying theme for everything we're going to talk about today really has to do with getting good help for the things that you need at home anyway. But the backdrop that I'd like to paint this against is something that Helping Seniors of Brevard, this has been a vision of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, since really the day that he founded this. Many people know Joe because he's the guy, as you know, that founded the Alzheimer's Association and Foundation here in Brevard County. And to this day, they've named their daycare facilities Joe's Clubs in honor of the work that Joe did to really get all those established. And when Joe retired from that organization, literally well over a decade ago, we tease him. You haven't had a chance to meet him yet. He's 86 years old. He's a retired naval captain. He is the neatest, bestest advocate that you would ever want to have for a senior in Brevard County. He just can't stay retired. He got the Alzheimer's Foundation up and running. And when I first met him about a decade ago, he said, Kerry, he said, people have more problems than just the memory issues. And I really want to found an organization that helps people with all the issues that we face growing older. And so he's very big on this thing. He talks about we need an aging plan. And what he explains that to be is, all our life, when you're a kid in school, they say, well, what's your plan when you grow up? What are you going to be? And then, when you are an adult, then they're always telling you, well, what's your plan? Are you going to send your kids to college? Or what's your plan? What are you going to do? Are you saving for your retirement? They're always telling us to plan. But then we get to that retirement age. Do we have a plan? Do we know what we're planning to do in our retirement? And I'm not talking about the fun stuff. I'm talking about, do we have a plan if we run into some problems that we didn't necessarily expect? And so Joe has always talked about, we got to have an aging plan. And so one of the things that he said is important is that in your aging plan, where the good resources are, people that you can trust and who you can access and know they're going to have your back as you're trying to work through this. And unfortunately, as you guys also know, in this day and age, there's a lot of scams out there. And so we always caution people who might see a well-meaning, but you don't know, business card tacked onto a bulletin board. Maybe it's at church, maybe it's at a shopping mall or a drugstore, and it says we can help or we can do this, but you don't know because you don't know. And so you need a place you can go where you can get somebody that is trusted. And so that's the point behind the Helping Seniors Directory. Now, one of the things, Jennifer, we've done radio shows, TV shows. You've really talked a lot about the importance of getting trusted help at home as opposed to just a random number that you might have pulled one of those little strips of paper off the corner of something they tacked up on the bulletin board.
Absolutely. So one of the other organizations that I work closely with is Brevard County Triad. And we really try to warn people about the scams that the elderly face. And unfortunately, through my association with the Triad, we've seen when people are hired maybe off the street where their medications end up missing, or they come home from a doctor's appointment and everything is gone out of the house. We've seen, where the kids were up in Canada and they came down to visit, and the paintings, the lamps, the statues, the different things that mom had collected through her travels all over the world had just disappeared. So unfortunately, we see it every day in Brevard County, and we want to make sure that people are hiring through reputable companies, that all the caregivers have background checks. They're licensed, insured, bonded. We just want everyone to be safe.
And one of the things that we've talked about over and over, as far as what you guys do with seniors, helping seniors, not only are you taking on the work of making sure that the people that are coming to work for you are well vetted and the right people to have go into homes, but also the flip side is because you do that, the people at home can have a sense of comfort and know that they're building a relationship with somebody that they can trust to help them, particularly as they move along in their aging plan.
And that's one of the beauties of hiring seniors, is that they're not looking for 40 hours a week. Mm-hmm. They do this because they want to do it, not because they have to do it. So it's a totally different mindset going in. So these are folks that are not looking for the paycheck. That's very nice, but they're looking to really help that person. So they're there, like I said, with a totally different mindset of being as helpful as they possibly can. And they've also been trained to watch out for scams and look for, the possibility of someone, a customer being taken advantage of.
And it's so important because the other thing that I think happens when you have good help coming into your home, help that you can trust, is that those people start to understand your patterns and they know when something is maybe not right, so then they can step in. We talked about this a lot, particularly as this area had been through this whole COVID situation. And anytime, maybe the adult child who's trying to help mom or dad lives out of state, normally they would be able to come down, and for whatever reason, they're not able to make it down. So what you do is you're really providing peace of mind and comfort. You're like an extension of the family for those folks.
We are. We're eyes and ears on the ground. And after every service, we do fill out a form, and that it's downloaded right to the file. So the kids can, from wherever they are, go on the system. They can see what caregiver is there that day. They can read the report and get a day-to-day update on what's happening with mom or dad. So it gives them peace of mind to know that, hey, mom ate really well today, or maybe she didn't eat well, and they're noticing patterns too, and they're seeing along with us. So it's a constant communication. So they feel really good about that. So it's a good thing.
And the key, as you've heard Joe talk about, it's so much less expensive in your aging plan when you, and most people seem to want to, find a way to age in place. So the key is, how do we do that safely and still take advantage of the fact that we may have some needs that we didn't have to have help with maybe 10, 15 years ago. And that's really the point I want to pivot and ask Heather a little bit about. That's what you guys do is so fascinating, because particularly if there's things that keep people from actually being able to get out and about, but sometimes it's just limitations. I don't have a ride to the doctor wants me to get my blood checked, and I have to do this. Maybe it's weekly, maybe it's every other week because you're on a blood thinner or something like that, and they need to know what's going on. But you can't get that ride because whoever would help you, they have this problem on Tuesday, and maybe Thursday they could get you, but that's not convenient. This is what the problem that you solve. Tell us a little bit about.
So basically, we come directly to your home. We do your blood draw, anything that you would typically do at the lab. Once we receive your order from the physician, we come to the home, perform everything that needs to be done. We take the hassle out of going to the lab, having to go out and do all the travel and everything. We take the specimens directly to the hospital. They do the testing there, and then we fax the results directly back to the doctor.
You know, this is fantastic because before we were talking, not only is it at best inconvenient, you know, because doesn't it happen a lot of times? They want you to, you know, I remember seeing this thing. They want you to do this before you have your breakfast, or you have all these restrictions, and they want to get the best numbers or the most accurate reading for this. And so they have all, you know, you want to be there in the morning, or you want to do this after you've whatever. You're able to meet those needs, aren't you?
Absolutely. We really kind of tailor to what's best for the patient. When are they going to be able to be seen, like right after they've woken up, right before they use the bathroom for the first time, you know, things like that. We can really get in there and get that done.
You know,
that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that people were aware. It's not just blood work, that you can do, you know, a clean catch. And that's something that we see and we had talked about was there's a lot of UTIs in the elderly. So you can do that right there at the home and take it to the lab, which I think is a wonderful service.
Now, that's exactly right. Thank you, Jennifer, for bringing that up, because I was sharing before we started cameras rolling, you know, all of us have worked with aging parents and things like that. And I do remember that, particularly with my mother, they would want her to go to the hospital to get a urine sample because they wanted to make sure that she wasn't having a UTI that was, you know, out of control. And for her, it was very difficult. And I can tell you, we made trips to the hospital that we had to return home because it just wasn't raining that day.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking that what you described about how you go in, you're prepared to sanitarily and correctly get it. I love that term. That must be a medical term because I didn't know it. Clean catch. I like that. That sounds good. But you can do that, you know, regardless if the doctor's ordered a stool sample, a urine sample, or anything like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So, and particularly, I would have to imagine that as people learn about your business, you're going to be busier and busier because that is the wave of the future. I know our education specialist, Kim Bernard, who you reach on our Helping Seniors hotline number, which is 321-473-7770. I'll say that number again. It's 321-473-7770. Kim takes a large number of calls from people who are stuck. They've got a doctor's appointment. They've got to go get lab work done. You just cleared up the schedule for so many seniors with what you guys do. It's fantastic. And yet the flip side of that is that's the thing we want to talk about a little bit today is why this directory is so important. Because I was explained that the statistics here in Brevard County, which at the last time we did a census, which now is, you know, over 10 years ago, we don't have the new numbers, but we were already over 650,000 people in this county. And we talk about the demographics of this county. It's one of our taglines about why it's good for people to help support the work of helping seniors, because in our county, 1 out of 4 people is over 65. And if you want to use AARP's definition, which if they say you're 50, you're a senior, then it means half of our county is a senior. And when you think about that, we're also growing like crazy. People want to come to Florida. Welcome to Florida. 3 years ago. But seriously, they told us that almost 1,000 families, almost 1,000 families a day are moving into Florida. Not just here, but you can just see the places to live are popping up, new developments, new apartment homes. And this is a desirable state to come to. So a lot of people like to be in Florida. But because of that, they land here, and then they got to start this process of figuring out, well, who do I trust? I need this help. I need help with a handyman. I need help with somebody put up hurricane shutters. I need help knowing how, you know, is there a transportation office? I need help in the home. Didn't know I could have somebody actually come to my home and take my blood and do the things that I need to have done. So now I can not have to pester my son, like, when can I go to the hospital because the doctor wants this test done and it has to be done before my next appointment. You take all of those things out of the equation.
Right.
So for people like that, or for people that may be kind of like, we have a lot of snowbirds here too. They're up in the north during the summer months, and maybe the adult children are trying to help the parents when they're down here in the summer and trying to help them find resources. Where do they get that? So that's really why, as an organization, we decided to push out the Helping Seniors directory. And I wanted to ask you a little bit, Jennifer, because you've watched this thing develop. You know, at first we put the directory in the center of Senior Scene magazine, which for those of you that may not be aware, Senior Scene magazine publishes 12 issues a year. There's up to 14,000 printed copies that go out throughout Brevard County. And I think Kim Bernard was telling me it goes to 500 different locations around the county. So these are sought after. When we go out to senior expos and events, the first thing people come up to the Helping Seniors table say, do you have the latest Senior Scene magazine? It's just great information. But John Frederickson, who's the publisher, years ago, he and Joe sat down and he said, listen, we will publish the Helping Seniors newsletter as a center section of our magazine to help you guys get word and information out to seniors around Brevard County. So for years and years, we always tell people, look for those 8 pages in the center of the magazine, because that's all content provided by Helping Seniors of Brevard that should be of value to you in making your aging plan. So in the directory, which came a little bit later, as you remember, that became a place where people can say, okay, I'm an elder law attorney. Here's the things that I can do to help seniors. Or I'm doing home help. So here's where you can get a number of a trusted resource. Okay, I work in the financial industry. I'm a Social Security expert. Call me here. So we're able to have all that in a print directory. And so one of the things that we talked about with the directory is that the problem with a printed directory, by definition, you know, we're all old enough, we remember Yellow Pages, right? They would plop that big book on our doorstep and it would sit next to the phone for all year. But the day it hit your doorstep, by definition, right, it was almost outdated because businesses move, they change a phone number, they open up a new location, they change the service hours. All these things are always shifting. And the problem with a print directory is it becomes that, even if you print it a couple of times a year. But the good news is with the Helping Seniors directory, we're publishing it 12 times a year. So it is updated every single month as it goes to press. But the blessing of living in the times we do now is we actually have the opportunity of being online too. And we all walk around with our smartphones. So we wanted to make sure the directory was also available online, because that way it is truly up to the minute. If something changes, there's a new location that just opened up, there's a new phone number, there's a new TV commercial, there's a new thing that we did on Helping Seniors, all that gets put into that directory. And so it becomes sort of a living directory. It never gets outdated. And one of the things I'm thinking about from you guys as business owners, I want you to talk a little bit about how you see that as helpful or valuable in terms of getting the word out to people about the services you provide. And so, Jennifer, I'll ask you to kind of pop in first with that.
All right. So, of course, we want to let everyone know what we do and how we do it, because that way we can help more seniors. So it's always a battle of getting that word out. You know, we're 8 years old now. And in the first couple of years, you know, people had, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. So it's really important for us as a business to be able to get the word out to more seniors so they know that we're here and that we really do hire seniors to help seniors. On the other side of that, with my Helping Seniors hat on, it's really important for the seniors to have trusted businesses that they can trust to come into their home and provide a wide range of services. So from both sides, I see it as so valuable.
No, it is such an important tool, because if you don't know who to trust, you don't know who to trust. And so I was going to ask you the same question, Heather. As you think about it, your business, as people find out about you, is just going to grow exponentially, because what you do is so important. And particularly at times when they're asking people to be a little bit more careful about getting out and about, it even becomes that much. Before it was a convenience, now it's a necessity. But let me let you talk a little bit about the value of the directory for you.
So since we are a newer business and it's kind of a new concept for us to come to your home, draw your blood, I found that this directory is vital in getting the word out in the community that, you know, we can come out, we can perform these services, and you don't have to stress and worry about going to the lab or anything like that. So it's very important just for people to know.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. And Jennifer, you understand the the world of nonprofit, even though you have your business, but sitting on the board of Helping Seniors, you know how vital it is for a nonprofit to get the funding it needs to be able to exist. Right. And so we do lots of things. Joe has established the Helping Seniors car raffle as a fundraiser for us. We're doing things on the travel club that are fundraisers. But one of the things that's beautiful about how this whole thing came together is with John Frederickson as a longtime good friend of, he's the publisher of Senior Scene, longtime friend of Helping Seniors. He said, Kerry, Joe, I really want this to be something that benefits Helping Seniors. So I'm going to provide the space in my publication, but I want the money. So if a sponsor comes in and says, I'm going to take a directory listing, I want that money to go into further the work of Helping Seniors. And so the price, if you are a business, an organization, and you're looking for that exposure, you can't beat it. You know, we jokingly say, what do you spend for a good cup of coffee? If you go into a fancy coffee shop, it's going to be $3 or $4. And what is that going to get you besides a nice 5 minutes or 10 minutes with an excellent cup of coffee? But literally for $1 a day, $1 a day, folks, you can be in the Helping Seniors directory for an entire year. And so one of the thought process is, number one, you're helping the work of Helping Seniors, but number two, you're helping to get information that is vital for folks in Brevard County who may be moving in. They don't know. Maybe this is the first time that they've decided they need home help. This may be the first time that they even knew that they had the luxury of having somebody come by the home. And so just, you know, we talk about one of the things that Helping Seniors is all about is getting information into people's hands. Sometimes we think we need a bigger checkbook, but a lot of times we just need the right information to get us to that next thing that we're trying to do. I wanted to ask you to kind of like chime in on that.
Well, you're so right. It really, it's a win-win. Yeah. As the business owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, it really is an affordable way for me to get the word out that we are here, and that directory is put out, 12 times a year. It's updated. It's right there in the middle of Senior Scene magazine, so it's very visible, and it's online. Yeah. So that's a great thing for me as a business, and it's so affordable.
Absolutely.
And I feel really good. A lot of places will spend more than that on one single senior expo. Yeah. So for the price of one senior expo, I can have that visibility all year, but I'm really donating to a good cause. Yeah. So that money is going to helping seniors of Brevard. And so it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Heather,
I feel the same as she does. I mean, it's absolutely like, seniors need to know about us. We need to get the word out there. And if we can, support a good cause in the meantime, we are so blessed to be able to do that.
Right? Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, the people often say, well, what is it that Helping Seniors does as a charity organization? So for 10 years now, let me answer that question. For 10 years now, Joe has established the county senior information helpline. That number is 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770. And as you know, Jennifer, sitting on the board, this organization has helped well over 3,000 families absolutely free of charge. Now, we're not a resource ourselves. We're a tiny little charitable organization. But because of the expertise of the people who work together, Joe and Kim and the entire Helping Seniors team, they know how to connect the dot from where a problem exists to a solution for that problem. And I am amazed at how often we're able to resolve situations, and it simply is because somebody didn't know a resource was available. And so people say, well, are you like a referral line? Like there's a referral line I call, I say, this is my problem, they give me a phone number. And we always explain, no, it's much more. If it was that simple all the time, it would be great. But we've seen Kim and Joe spend hours and hours and multiple calls to make sure that we have, if you excuse the sport analogy, move the football down the field, that we got something going in the right direction. And I'm amazed at how often that we're able to do that. So when you support the work of Helping Seniors, you are in fact keeping that lifeline for seniors open and available. And so we just have we literally have a couple of minutes left. But I was amazed when you told me, for example, with your mobile lab, how affordable. I thought, well, this must be a service only for the rich. How can people afford this? And you were telling us that it's unbelievably affordable.
It is. So it's actually a $25 out-of-pocket draw fee that's due at the time of the services. And then the hospital will actually bill your insurance for the actual testing.
So for less than it would cost you to call an Uber or something,
Right.
You don't have to get all dressed up and get out
Right.
and try to deal with that first thing in the morning. What a great service. What a great service.
And as a family caregiver, not having to get mom dressed and take her out,
Right.
Especially in cases of dementia, that is invaluable.
And a lot of times if they're in their own environment, they know they're feeling more comfortable. And a lot of people get nervous to even go to the lab. And this is another way to, have them in their element and keep them comfortable and just bring the lab to them.
Such a great service. Paradise Mobile Labs, Heather Palonis, thanks for joining us. And
Thank
Jennifer, always, thanks for joining us. We're going to come back and we're going to do a TV show actually about a neat thing that you've got going on, which is the electronic caregiver. And so real quickly, want you to give the phone number because you want to learn about how this can help you as you make your stay-at-home plan too.
All right. So our number is 321-722-2999.
All right. And thank you both for sharing with us as we're excited about this directory, folks, and we hope you will be too. Give us a call at 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770, and ask Kim about the $1 a day way to stay connected to seniors in Brevard County. On behalf of Joe and the whole Helping Seniors team, thank you for joining us today for Helping Seniors TV.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.